Hello, hello, and welcome to another story time brought to you by ABC Read and ABC Learn, in which we are here to help you develop and nurture that love of reading in every child as well as every adult. How are you all doing out there today, evening, real early in the morning, real late at night, middle of the afternoon, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are around the globe? I hope that you all are doing absolutely lovely, delightful, just awesome. And I hope that you all have read or your plan is to read for at least 30 minutes. 30, y'all. Come on, y'all. Get that 30, y'all. We got to up it. We got to get more than that 15. Now, I don't say that 15 no more. I don't say that 20 no more. It's about that 30 at least. All right. Now, I wanted to share with you guys a term that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard about. And it is called print rich. Print rich. Is your home print rich? What do I mean by that? I mean, do you have a home that is filled with books, magazines, newspapers? Do you have a home that is print rich? Because research studies have shown that children who have homes that are filled with books, filled with newspapers, all right, filled with magazines, these are the children who are the successful readers. And guess what? In order for your home to be print rich, it does not take a lot of money. And guess what? You can start off with what? Going to the library every other week if you choose, every week if you choose, every other week. Go to the library, take out oodles of books so that your children can see a home that is filled with books, because we want our children to value reading. Reading should be at the top of the value ladder, period, point blank. And I wanted to mention that because of the fact, number one, a lot of kids are going back into school. You have kids who have already started, right? And one of the main reasons why they have changed kids going to school earlier is because of that summer reading loss that occurs, that summer slide. All right. And that is the time to where kids, especially kids in the African American community and Latino communities and low income communities, those children, their reading typically goes in reverse when they go back to school because they were not exposed to a lot of print. They were not exposed to a lot of activities that can help build that background knowledge that is needed for reading. All right. There were not a lot of adults around them reading, showing that reading should be valued. Okay, so this is research that has been done, and these are things that I've seen on my own. And when I go into these schools, when I'm asking these kids, you know, are you being read to at home? Do you have a lot of books at home? Okay. And a lot of kids will raise their hand. No, 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 no. Or if I'm like, okay, I would like for you to please read, this paragraph out loud. Hardly any hands goes up. Why is that? A lot of times because the kids are struggling with reading. And reading is not looked at as something that's being as popular. And so we got to make it popular. Just like you have these advertisers making these tennis shoes popular. All right. You got these certain clothes, these toys, and all this other stuff. We have to make reading popular, period. All right. And that's one of the things that Oprah has done when she would have the reading club on her, the Oprah Winfrey show, when she had that show. She was making reading popular, and that's what we have to do, period, point blank. And that's all I'm going to say right now, because guess what? I am about to read the last chapter of Fish in a Tree by Lynda Mullaly Hunt, y'all. It's it. Chapter 51 is the last chapter, y'all. Oh my goodness, this is like bittersweet, right? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the book. I'm really feeling this book. But also sweet because I am so happy that we were able to read this book together. I'm reading the chapter, you guys are listening along, and there's some of you who probably even got the book already. And for the first person who leaves a comment in the comment section below and talk about why they like this book, what did they learn from this book, I will mail them a copy of this book so you can have it in your home library. That's right. But you have to make sure you put a comment in the comment section below. So the first person, okay? All right, y'all. We are about to get started. I'm excited. Chapter 51, Allie Nickerson, Fish in a Tree. Coura, genius. I asked Mr. Daniels if I can renew my book at the library, and he smiles like I gave him a cake. Sure, he says. Then he hands me an envelope. Since you're heading that way, will you give this to Mrs. Silver for me? Sure. You have to hand it to her, though, and you have to wait until she opens it and writes a response, and then return it to me. Okay? I nod, thinking back to the days when a visit to the office meant trouble. I renew my book and then head to the office. Mrs. Silver is there when I walk in. She smiles. Hey there, Allie. I hold out the envelope even before I start talking. I guess I want her to know right away that I'm not in trouble. I have a message from Mr. Daniels. She holds up a finger telling me to wait 1 minute while she speaks with her daughter and picks up the phone. I mean to listen in on their conversation, but something else catches my attention. The poster with the two hands reaching for each other. The one I was asked to read, but couldn't. I walk over and stand in front of it. I stare at the outstretched fingers. Then I take a deep breath and look at the letters. I step right up to the wall and just like Mr. Daniels taught me, use the envelope in my hand as a marker under the first line. I whisper, some things? Mrs. Silver comes and stands behind me. She puts her hands on my shoulders. I stop reading. No, Allie, keep going. I turn my head to look up at her. Can you just read it to me so I can hear it all at once? Mrs. Silver reads, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is ask for help. C. Connors. Allie, she asks. I turn. Her voice cracks. I want you to know how sorry I am about the bumpy road we had for a while. I'm proud of all the strides you're making, all the hard work you're doing. We should have picked up on your learning differences before. But you were so bright. And well, I hope you'll give me another chance to help. I nod, looking over at the poster and think how I should have asked for help. But at the time, it took more bravery than I had, I guess. Hey, she says, didn't you have a letter for me? Yeah, Mr. Daniel says you are supposed to read it before I leave. She opens the envelope and reads as she walks to her desk. Then she laughs and turns toward me. Did he tell you what this says? I shake my head. It says, the student delivering this note is our student of the month for hard work and a good attitude. Me? I ask. Are you sure it isn't a mistake? She laughs. My brother Travis will never believe this, I tell her. But in my heart, I know he will. He'll be happy for me and mess up my hair and say, "Good going, Al." She writes a note for Mr. Daniels and hands it to me. I leave the office and am told right away to stop running by a teacher. So I do. But it is so hard not to run and jump and yell. Mr. Daniels smiles at me as soon as I turn the corner into the room, and I half jump, half run over to his desk. So you got the message? He asks. I nod. With a hand on my shoulder, he says, "Attention, Fantasticos! I would like to announce that our student of the month is our own Allie Nickerson." Oliver slaps his desk while others applaud. Even Jessica. Shay says something I can't hear exactly, but I do hear Jessica answer her, "Stop it, Shay." Albert and Keisha come over. Albert with a high five and Keisha with a hug. Wow! Are you going to talk to us little people when you win your next award? If you bake for me, I joke. Wait, Albert says. Will you bake for me if I win something? Keisha and I laugh while Albert says, No, I'm serious. Keisha pats him on the shoulder. Yes, Albert, I'll bake something for you. We begin collecting our things to go home. Travis is picking me up because I have to bring my project home. I get my stuff and head down to the gym to wait. Soon Travis walks in, still wearing his clothes from the garage. The sun from outside is behind him like he's walking out of a ball of light. And all of a sudden, I feel like I'm going to cry. It makes sense. Everything does. Travis is smart in the same ways that I am. I run up to him, put my project down on the floor, and throw my arms around him. Pretty happy to avoid the school bus, huh? He laughs. I'm just really happy to see you, that's all. And I hug him one more time, but tighter. His face questions me. Wait a second, I say. I'll be right back. And I turn and run before he can answer. I run because I just have to. This can't wait until tomorrow. I sprint down the hallway, ignoring someone far behind me telling me to slow down. I approach my classroom, grab the door frame, and swing into the room out of breath. Mr. Daniels looks up from his work surprised. Allie? I step up to the side of his desk. I reach into my pocket and pull out the worn piece of paper that says, possible. You're still carrying that? He asks and smiles big. Please, Mr. Daniels, I tell him, you have to help. I'll do anything. He stands. What's wrong, Allie? Please help my brother. I take a step forward. He needs to learn to read too. I think of the poster in Mrs. Silver's office. Mr. Daniels' hand reaching for mine, and mine reaching for Travis. Of course, Allie. I'm happy to help. Your brother is picking you up today, right? I nod, feeling so grateful for Mr. Daniels. I wonder if he knows that I came into the 6th grade wondering what would ever become of me. Now I have dreams I know I'll chase down. I'll set the world on fire someday and come back here and tell him so. Okay, he says, you go ahead. I'll be down in a minute to talk with him about what we can do. I run from the room, but slow down. thinking, aware of every step. Eventually, I'm back at the gym, back to my big brother, who has stood by me and helped me always, who's believed in me no matter what I said. Travis is standing there with his hands in his pockets, looking up at the light streaming through the windows across the top of the gym. I watch him for a while. Finally, he sees me and smiles. I hand him the tattered piece of paper that says, possible. Here, this belongs to you now. He looks confused. For me? Mr. Daniels isn't far behind me. He shakes Travis's hand. Hello there, Travis. I've heard a lot about you. He looks down at me. Quite a little sister you have here. Travis does that half smile. Yeah, she is. So, Mr. Daniels says, apparently Allie thinks we should talk. Okay, he says, brushing his chin with his knuckles. Mr. Daniels explains to him what we do after school and invites him to join us. I look up. Travis swallows hard and nods. I knew Travis would be brave enough to say yes. A mind movie lights up in my head of our last name written in neon lights in the window of Travis's new place. And there's another mind movie of me being happy. Reading and making my art and finding a special alley-shaped place in the world. But these mind movies won't go into my sketchbook of impossible things because I know they will actually happen. I lean back against my big brother and feel his hands on my shoulders. Their voices seem to fade as I look up at that light streaming through the windows. Things are going to be different. It's like birds can swim and fish can fly. Impossible to possible. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What a way to end this awesome book. What a way. This book was filled with courage. This book was filled with triumphs, tribulations, trials, setbacks, bullies, haters. I mean, oh my goodness, this book was just filled with so much. And I really believe even you adults out there would learn from this book here. Even though this is a book for middle school kids, please, I enjoyed every bit of this book. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And one of the things that what made me think about when reading this book, I thought about Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz. May God be pleased with him. And how such a brilliant little boy that he was, and he definitely turned into a brilliant man. But where things went haywire and things just started to go downhill for him was when he came across a teacher who told him that when he told the teacher, yes, I want to be a lawyer. And the teacher told him, oh no, you shouldn't think about becoming a lawyer. You should think about becoming a carpenter or something. A lawyer wouldn't be good for you. And how that absolutely killed the zeal in Malcolm X at the time. At that time, he was Malcolm Little. Then he turned into Malcolm X, then El-Hajj. And how that killed that zeal for learning inside of him. Because of that teacher. That teacher who did not want to encourage him and say, hey, look, yes, I can see you being a lawyer. And unfortunately, one of the major factors in why he was told that was because of racism. right? And I bring this up to say is that a teacher definitely has power. All right. Just like how the parents, we as parents are our children's first teachers, and we have that power to shape and mold, teachers have that same power as well. And I hope that you teachers out there understand that and get that lesson from this book. Mr. Daniels realized his job as a teacher to bring out the greatness in all of his children, all of his kids that were his students. And I loved how Mr. Daniels addressed all of his students as fantasticals, right there setting the tone, making it clear, letting it be known that I care about each and every one of you, even Shay, right? Because you got that kid in there who's starting trouble, but those teachers, when they see that even the kids who are struggling, even the kids who may be bullies or whatever, that teacher's job is still to try to help that child as much as they possibly can. But guess what? They can't do it on their own. The parents have to set the foundation. Parents, you are the ones who are the kids' first teachers, period. So be empowered and be inspired constantly. And don't send your babies to school talking about that's the teacher's job to educate my kids. Even though I give props and kudos to teachers for sure. But it is our job as parents to empower and inspire our children and set that foundation for education and letting it be known and making it clear. Oh no, I am your partner. You are my partner in helping my child achieve their greatness. All right, y'all, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed that book. I will be reading to you again another book, a new book. All right, and I hope you all continue to like, subscribe, and share our videos. And remember to please keep reading for at least 30 minutes a day. Happy reading, reading revolutionaries.